Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hello, I'm Kayla, and today I'm going to be kind of giving you guys like an update or like an overview on my goal setting process. If you've been watching me and following along, I've been doing my goal setting process with my goal journal. And I've been kind of doing the step-by-step process with you guys, and I wanted to kind of give you kind of my opinion or how I feel like it's going for me using this process. So the first thing I wanted to say is no matter what system you're using, unless you're committed, unless you have an investment into the process, you're not going to be successful. So that means, you know, for some of us that is like not everybody's going to use this type of goal setting process. Everybody's going to have their own system. But if you're not committed to the process, you're not going to be successful. So number one is there has to be some type of commitment. And if you are committed, then you're going to follow through with the steps needed because it's something that you are truly fully invested in. Okay, for me, I am fully invested in this because I feel like in order for me to achieve the things that I want to, it's important for me to have an action plan. It's important for me to follow through and show up for myself. So for the last 2 weeks, so I did January goals. I'm working on 4 of them, and each week I've been breaking those goals into actionable steps, and then I've been tracking those steps, and then I've been kind of following up and reflecting on how I've been doing. So the first thing I want to say is that this process is keeping me accountable. So me writing down my goals, me taking the time to truly reflect on what or how I'm doing with each of the steps has been truly helpful. And like I've said in my previous videos, this process has been something that I've been trying for the last couple of months. And so I'm the type of person that I like to set goals for myself. I know that's a very controversial area where some people don't believe in goals. Like, I'm the person that believes in goals. Like, I believe that if I set something for myself and I work towards it, I can truly achieve it. And it keeps me kind of like in momentum. It keeps me kind of working on whatever it is that I'm trying to work on. So the system for me keeps me accountable. So I have a place where I can write down my action steps, like what are the steps that I'm going to take in order to achieve that big goal. I have a place where I can kind of plan it out. I can plan out, you know, when am I going to put these steps into place? And then I have a place that I can check in with myself. So for me, it's really helping me to become accountable, number one, because I am having a space just for that. And number two is because I am accountable to you, my audience. You know, the reason that I'm doing this is so that you guys can get inspired and you guys can see how I do it. And then you guys can kind of figure out, you know what? Let me try something similar, right? To achieve my goals. And so I'm doing this to kind of inspire you to kind of like work on your own goal setting process. So what I like about the goal setting journal that I have created is that it breaks it down. It makes it so much more like easier to do, because what we tend to do is we tend to set these goals for ourselves, and then sometimes those goals are big and sometimes it's really hard to like think about how are we going to get there. This system actually breaks it down. So, you know, like I showed you guys in the beginning was, you know, like we all kind of plan out our year. So we're beginning a new year. So a lot of us are doing our vision boards and are really like setting some intentions for the year. But then like you have to have some intentional action behind those intentions or goals. You can't just put things on a board and then just forget about it and think that it's going to happen. You have to have some action behind them. So the way that I do it is, all right, well, on my vision board, I have my passport. I want to get my passport this year because I want to start traveling outside of the U.S. And I had it last year and I did some steps towards that. Like I had to get my birth certificate from Puerto Rico, and that took a while. And so now that I have that, you know, like I have no excuse. And so for me, it's breaking it down makes it so much more easy. So like the first week was going on the website and printing out the application, you know, filling it out. The second step was reviewing it and making sure that everything's correct, and then work on getting my passport picture, right? Those steps are so simple. So each week I give myself that one little step, And it's so much easier for me to achieve that, to do that, than to think of like the whole picture, right? So having those weekly action steps, and then if you watch my video last week, I showed you how I started putting it inside of my planner, right? Because again, you have a goal journal, right? You're writing down your action steps. But again, if you close that book and you put it away, the likelihood is that you're not going to follow through. So for me, it's not only writing it down, but it's, all right, let me add that into my planner. If you don't use a planner, add it into a calendar, right? Give yourself some sticky notes that you can put on your fridge. Something that's going to remind you and keep you accountable that this is something that I have set for myself to do this week so that I can get closer to that goal by the end of the month. So for me, that works really great. I'm a planner right now. I use a planner system. And so I literally would put those action steps in my planner. And so as I open my planner every single day, I see the action steps. And sometimes, listen, I think this week I said that I was going to do one of my action steps on Monday. I didn't get to do that action step on Monday, right? I think I kind of put that I was going to like run on I think it was Fridays and Sundays or something like that. Those days haven't been working out. So I ran on Wednesday. So again, it's not that, you know, you have to be held so tightly to that. It's a guide for you. You can move things around, you know, and that's some of the things that you're going to be able to reflect on. So this week I'm going to reflect on that I did get those steps completed. They just weren't exactly how I had planned them, and that's fine, because part of this process is adjustments. The whole reason why you're doing the weekly reflections is to make the adjustments that you need, right? How did I do this week, right? Did I follow through? Did I look at my planner? Did I follow through with that step that I had to do, right? What did I struggle with? You know, what did I excel in? And then the last box is, you're like, what can I do next week? So maybe this week I realized that I needed to break those days apart a little more. Or maybe I needed to take time to look up what the passport picture guidelines are. And so now I have a clearer picture of what kind of picture I need to get. So that's the whole point of this system. And for me, it works really good because it's keeping me accountable. It is breaking the action steps down. I am putting them in my planner. And at the end of the week, I could check in with myself and I can make the adjustments. And to be honest with you, it's working really good. One of the things that has really, things that I've been feeling during this process is I've been feeling motivated. I've been feeling excited. Why? Because I am following through. I am showing up for myself. So like paying down my debt, like there's a plan in place. Like I am saying to myself, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay this much on these dates, and by the end of the month I'm going to have. And so far in 2 weeks I've done so much. Like I can look back and I can look at my goals and I can say, wow, like as of right now, this goal, like my debt goal, is 50% more, 60% done. And we're only 2 weeks in, right? My passport goal is probably like, I would say 40%. That's huge, right? My running goal, that one's like at least 50-60%. Trying to think what my other goal is. But in other words, because I have a system in place, because I am committed, I am invested, and because I'm using a system that kind of like helps me, then I'm becoming more successful in achieving these goals. Is helping me to increase my motivation, and probably 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna complete all these goals by the end of the month. And for whatever reason, even if I don't complete the goals, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna get so close, right? Let's just say that something happens in my budget that I don't pay off the $800 like I had planned, but maybe I paid $600, right? That's huge. I didn't do the 800, but I did 600. That's what, 80% of that goal is completed. That's better than not completing a goal or not setting that goal for yourself and not even thinking that, you know what, this is something I could do, right? Same thing with the passport, right? Maybe by the end of the month I haven't submitted it, but I'm going to be probably 80 to 90% done, because I've done 60. I said 40%, but I think I've done more than that, right? I printed it, I applied it, and this week I should have the picture done, and all I really need to do is have the money and then make the appointment. So I'm so much closer than I was in December. So in other words, sometimes you're not going to get completely to that like 100%, but this is going to help you to work on getting there. So even if you get 60, 70, 80% of that goal accomplished, that is so much better than the beginning of the month when you were at 0%. Okay, so that is my kind of like overview on my goal setting process as of right now. It has increased my motivation, it has increased my commitment, it has made it so much easier for me, and it makes me excited to continue working on achieving these goals. So I hope that you are following along in this process with me, and if you haven't watched my videos, I'm going to link them below so you can watch them. So it's going to be, the first one is just me kind of setting it up. The second one is me doing a check-in, and I'm going to be doing a check-in again for this week. And I hope that you like this video and consider subscribing and hit that notification button so that you can be notified when I come back and put the next video, and you can follow along with me in this process. So I hope to see you in my next video.